Tonight in CVM News at 7, Decision 2025, PM Watch seeking certainty. Torched PNP South East St. Catherine constituency office reopened. Local experts concerned by overseas contractors. And in sports, Jamaica beaten on penalties in Unity Cup final. Hello from Kingston, Jamaica. This is CVM News at 7 for Saturday, May 31, 2025. I am Curlin Brown. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has said he will not call the general election until he is certain. But what does that mean? And were there any clues to be found during his address to JLP workers in Clarendon Northern? Here's more in this report.
As the calendar turns towards the announcement of the 2025 general elections, Prime Minister Andrew Holness's recent comments relating to certainty was given additional clarity as he described to the JLP workers of North Clarendon that had served for in excess of 20 years what he expects party members across the island to know before campaigning begins in earnest.
So phase one of the journey of this government was to fix the engine, meaning to fix the economy. And we had to be fixing the economy while driving the car. We have by and large fixed it. And now it is time to travel the roads that need attention.
Among them, the continued decline in debt to GDP, delivering on major infrastructure projects across the island, unprecedented in scale, potable water to communities who previously never had it, improved per capita income, and myriad others sure to be described in full as the momentum builds towards Decision 2025. However, the party leader did not seem convinced that potential voters are fully aware of how the progress is being achieved.
The only way to get your roads fixed is to make sure that whoever is the government runs the economy properly. For too long, we have separated the fixing of the road, the putting in of the water pipe, the fixing of the school, the fixing of the clinic from the fixing of the economy.
The Prime Minister seems committed to campaigning on accomplishment. However, he also seemed wary that the tangible impact of programs such as the $45 billion Spark Initiative for the repair of roads, meant to satisfy Jamaicans' most common concern, may require a longer timeline to fully appreciate.
There are many improvements happening. But when you have existed for many years without it, the frustration is very high. So even if you get one thing, you're still not happy because you haven't gotten the other things. And as a government, we need to be communicating with you, explaining to you the challenges so that you appreciate and you understand that there is no attempt with this government to trick you and give you promises. This government has worked earnestly, honestly. We have worked with integrity and fairness. We have worked very hard to deliver to the people of the country that have not had these basic facilities for 30, 40 years from I was a little boy. But it's not going to come overnight. I could come here and tell you, I'm going to fix it tomorrow, and I could give you the big speech. But I think our politics has passed that. I think our workers are mature enough, smart enough, read enough, listen to news enough to be appreciative of a government, of a politician, of a leader who come and tell you what the facts are.
Joel Crosskill, CVM News.
Shadow spokesperson on health, Dr. Alfred Dawes, has reasserted his demand for an investigation into the Southeast Regional Health Authority's Sarah neurosurgical drill purchase. During the Southeast St. Catherine constituency office reopening, Dr. Dawes presented claims alleging only $12.7 million was used to purchase the components of the drill that was sold to Sarah for $31 million. Speaking at the reopening of his Southeast St. Catherine constituency office that was consumed by a fire last summer, spokesperson on health Dr. Alfred Dawes continued his forensic accounting of the purchase of the now infamous neurosurgical drill sold to the Southeast Regional Health Authority, SARA.
When they release the records, we see we got all of the customs entry and all of the invoices that showed they paid, based on what they declared, $12.7 million for all of the components of the drill. That cost taxpayers $31 million.
He asserts the invoice presented alleges Sarah purchased the components of the drill individually, which increased the cost. He further claims he learned from suppliers the drill is cheaper when sold as a whole compared to purchasing the components separately.
When we looked online for every individual parts that they said it had 100 parts, every distributor said to us, "You're madman. Why you want to buy them individually when they come as a set?" So Sarah, the Southeast Regional Health Authority, decide that hold up the pot again. Instead of buying the pot set for $3 million, they said, pull up the box and sell me every pot, every spoon, every pot cover. Sell it to me until it reached $31 million. That they pad that bill till it reached just under what Sarah said it would cost. Sarah said it would cost $32 million and the bill reached $31.5 million.
Dr. Dawes maintains contrasting invoices were presented.
When the company released their invoice to say that it was a repaired drill, the invoice number for the repair drill was not in the customs database. There was another number, the same number, but it said refurbish. So one invoice said repair, one invoice said refurbish, but it's the same item them say. So, hold on, let me say my liar, say. It appears to seem, allegedly, that one of those invoices may or may not be real.
And according to him, the drill could be purchased for just 10% of the reported cost of $31 million. Community health care is being transformed in Clarendon. Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton, speaking at the reopening of the Tollgate Health Centre, urged healthcare workers to provide improved patient care to match their improved environment.
Residents of
Minister Tufton reminds customer service starts at the gate of the facilities with something as simple as a smile.
Residents of Tollgate Clarendon and surrounding communities will benefit from improved healthcare as the community centre has been refreshed and reopened. This reopening comes after the introduction of the Health Ministry's Operation Refresh project aimed at renovating and modernising healthcare facilities across the island. Up to 20,000 residents can access the various services including antenatal, postnatal, child health, immunization and family planning services.
You heard the nurse give her testimony earlier. She said the place used to hot. Now it is cool. And that's a good thing, because one of the standard features of our health centers under Operation Refresh is to make sure that the working environment is comfortable. Clean bathrooms, new bathrooms, and I see here you have done supply and installation of new windows. You have done new reinforcement concrete floor slab with tiled finish. But the floor them supposed to look pretty. Paint throughout, air conditioning installation throughout.
Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton while celebrating the reopening of the facility, championed holistic patient care. This includes customer service and community engagement. And he urged healthcare providers to display empathy and courtesy to patients, which he said are crucial aspects of healthcare delivery.
We are going to have to ensure that on top of the new infrastructure that we put in has to come the quality of service. And service starts with a smile. It starts at the gate. It starts with the common courtesies of good morning and good evening. How can I help you? Listening to people, showing empathy when they express their distress, because all of that is a part of therapy. Therapy don't start with the prescription and the medication. It starts with how we treat people.
Minister Tufton said despite potential difficulties that may arise when treating patients, healthcare providers should remain understanding and professional. The minister announced that healthcare providers will receive training to deliver this standard of patient-centered care.
So I encourage you to benefit from what is here, continue to improve on what we have and we have been placed here, and let us ensure that we continue to build a relationship with the community. Help those who can't help themselves, give friendly advice, listen, and even when they are problematic, because people in distress sometimes are fatigued and may be a little problematic and troublesome because they might try to solve them problem. Nothing wrong with that. We have to be the bigger people to show the love, the care, and what is necessary to neutralize that. We're going to be training a lot more to facilitate that, but I know you will do well here at Tollgate.
Angela Melville, CVM News.
Concerns have been raised about the level of participation of local enterprises in construction works happening across the island, as many projects are mainly being facilitated by overseas-based agencies.
Several infrastructural development programs and construction works have been happening simultaneously across Jamaica. According to former president of the Incorporated Master Builders Association of Jamaica, the IMAJ, Carvel Stewart, this type of momentum hasn't been seen for a long time.
We have had periods when there were significant development works taking place, not just in Kingston and St. Andrew, but throughout the island, particularly on the north coast. Quite a number of hotel properties were being built.
Stewart attributes this newfound impetus to government involvement. However, the question of whether or not Jamaican-based contractors are prepared to meet the demand is an ongoing concern.
But because there has been such a tremendous absence of the local contractors, I would not venture to say we would not have been able to prepare for it. Because among the things that has happened with the absence of local participation, we have had significant migration from the industry of skills at all levels, from the managerial, engineering, technical, and trade skills.
Stewart says there was previously an absence of participation from local contractors. He explains this was due in part to migration from all levels ranging from workers and engineers to the managerial level. However, he emphasizes that this is possibly why overseas contractors have been receiving more construction-centered opportunities locally.
We have had a situation where contracts have been simply handed over to, and let's be specific, to Chinese contractors, China Army in particular, and largely on the premise that they will then subcontract work to locals. But the truth is, when you are not the head of the stream, as it were, then you're looking for trickling down in different ways, which may not assist in the further development of the local industry.
He explains that the skilled labor left the trade because they were underpaid by the foreign contractors who came in. He pointed out that local workers being properly compensated will result in less overseas migration, which will aid in sustaining the momentum in the construction industry.
The Minister of Labour and Social Security, Colonel Charles Jr., is assuring Jamaicans the Industrial Disputes Tribunal will not relent in its push to ensure fairness and justice among workers and their employers. The entity is celebrating its 50th anniversary.
Originating in the year 1975, the Industrial Disputes Tribunal IDT has long served Jamaica as a means of resolving conflicts between employers and employees. According to the Minister of Labour and Social Security, Colonel Charles Jr., the tribunal has facilitated a compromise between labour rights and organizations' interests.
It is resonating and has resonated across the country, where no matter who you are and what the level is, Jamaicans appreciate that the IDT is going to take an approach that respects and values the voice of all.
More than 3,000 disputes were reportedly settled by the IDT since its formation, giving it the reputation of being the ideal place for fairness and justice. As the landscape of the labour force evolves, Minister Charles says that the tribunal intends to adapt to these changes.
The platforms for work not are but have changed. The relationships between employers and employees are continuously evolving and different, from contract work to other forms. And we are going to see the IDT and the courts as well being challenged to think out of the box in terms of ensuring that we continue to define work and resolve disputes in our country.
State Minister for Labour and Social Security, Dr. Norman Dunn, emphasized that the tribunal has been an integral part of Jamaica's national development. He says 50 years is not only a milestone for the tribunal, but is a monumental achievement for the nation.
The tribunal has been a vital part of our national development. The ecosystem that we have built here in Jamaica and adjudicating conflicts for the perseverance of peace in the workplace, and provide a mechanism through which all parties, and you'd have heard it before, or tripartite, the employers or workers and our representatives. And the fact is, the poor man's court, everyone is treated fairly. It doesn't matter who you are.
The tribunal was handed a plaque which commemorates their years of jurisdictional competence.
Lots more to come here on CVM News at 7. Please stay with us.
While others see customers as numbers, we see our customers as people, neighbors, friends who deserve more than one-sided connections. That's why we're redefining what real connection is, prioritizing our customers and showing our appreciation by putting our money where your loyalty is. Flow customers, get your $20,000 supermarket card when you add postpaid mobile for only $3,700 plus GCT to your current internet plan. That's loyalty that flows both ways.
The internationally acclaimed On Stage with Winfred Williams.
At a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
So much more than entertainment.
What do women really want? I think there's a huge misconception out there about what we really like.
We give off this big bulbo candopi conqueror energy. And I didn't realize how much our generation, how much we operate in our masculine. And how much we are decision makers, how much we are go-getters, we are career women, we are figuring it out and doing everything else.
Welcome back to CVM News at 7. Time now for our regional and international news.
We begin with news in the region. In Trinidad and Tobago, the government is moving forward with stand your ground legislation and the granting of legal firearms, as we hear from TTT News.
Protection of citizens is the first job of any government. According to Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar, the nation's leaders failed for the past decade at accomplishing this. She said her government believes that by allowing citizens to stand their ground and acquire legal firearms, it will help to give them a fighting chance against home invasions and improving their overall safety and security. She noted that a committee has been established to look at various stand-your-ground models across the world, in particular the Florida model.
In the interim, we are just trying to give people the means to defend themselves, to stand their ground, and for a few minutes sometimes it will take until help arrives from the TTPS or otherwise.
The Prime Minister acknowledged the views of some who are against government's plans. However, she said those who want to defend their families should be given the right to do so.
I ask you to just envisage and imagine some criminal beating the life out of your husband or your wife, raping your daughter. What would you do? What would you do? You will have to stand your ground and defend your family.
The Ministry of Health, Wellness and Elderly Affairs is urging members of the public to exercise caution as St. Lucia experiences elevated levels of Saharan dust, which continues to blanket the island and pose significant health risks. HTS News Force provides this update.
Legal Services, the most recent weather update, dated May 27, 2025, confirms the presence of dense Saharan dust plumes in the atmosphere. These plumes are known to create dry and hazy air conditions, which often result in a spike in respiratory complaints such as dry cough, sneezing, nasal irritation, throat discomfort, and allergic reactions. Dr. Jenny Isaac Louisi, Senior Medical Officer in the Ministry of Health, issued a strong advisory in light of the recent environmental conditions.
Some of the effects of Saharan dust includes, but is not limited to, dry eyes, watery eyes, nasal irritation, sneezing, dry mouth, mild cough, throat discomfort, and flare-up of allergies due to additional irritants in the air.
She emphasized the potential health impacts for individuals living with asthma, sinusitis allergies, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, and other respiratory illnesses.
The Ministry of Health advises persons with asthma, sinusitis, allergies, COPD, and other respiratory conditions to be vigilant for the signs and symptoms of flare-ups.
And in international news, devastating flash floods have killed at least 151 people in central Nigeria, with the majority of victims found in Mokwa town, where floodwaters destroyed over 50 homes. The situation remains critical as search and rescue teams race to find the missing. More from Al Jazeera.
Residents call it the worst disaster in recent memory. Floodwaters ripped through the town of Mokwa in central Nigeria, taking many by surprise. People weren't expecting this level of torrential rain until around July or August. It brought devastation to an already struggling region.
We lost everything. The families. We don't even have anywhere again to go to. The property has gone. We lost at least 15 from this house.
For some families, it's only material losses.
I escaped with only my night dress. Right now, I can't identify where our home used to be.
Every year, Nigerian authorities warn of disasters like this. Yet hundreds die. And there is more bad news as more rain is forecast for the region in the coming days. Officials here say climate change is triggering extreme weather patterns.
Nigeria's meteorological agency has warned of possible floods in at least 15 of Nigeria's 36 states. Yet despite these warnings, flash floods continue to kill people across the country.
Last year, more than 1,200 people died in disasters like this, and between 1.5 to 2 million people were displaced.
And that's it for regional and international news.
And Inspire Jamaica now picks up on the story of an 11-year-old girl who is proof disability does not limit one's chances.
Reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place if you can.
The doctors didn't quite tell you what was wrong, but you eventually found out what.
One of the things is that she has bilateral dislocated radial heads, and of course she also has bilateral club feet. That's what she born with. And of course, she has a PFFD Aiken beta. That has to do with the hip bones and the head of the hip bone.
And under just cleft.
So she was born with a cleft lip and also the palate. So what they did the repair for the lips. Well, basically the lip, the top lip. But then they did not go inside. So they have the inside to fix.
So, and that affects her speech?
Just a little, but not much. They didn't get a chance to touch the hip because it was during the corona season. So she is basically doing appointments now. So they're waiting to get that done. But because of PEP 6, they said they will push it back after PEP 6.
Dejane is now more aware about corrective surgeries as the others were done when she was a baby.
She was much littler then, so I just throw on my side and we go. Yes, but for now she's much weightier, so I have to use a wheelchair to transport her. And of course she's walking much better now because back then she could not do staircase, and thanks be to God she's managing a little now. Well, much better now. Yes, and she will not walk far, but she can do a little. Because when she's in the house, she does not use the wheelchair. I only use it when we're going on the road. It has been a lot of ups and downs, but I am managing and I am happy. Most of all, I am happy I did not give up on my daughter. Even though I had a lot of sleepless nights and chairs at Bustamante Hospital, because so far she did 3 major surgeries. 2 on the legs and 1 on the lip. Yeah. Why I feel so proud of my daughter, and I'm happy I did not give up on her, even though it's a rough road. My mommy stand up with me every leg of the way, and when she's not there, I have my brother that never give up on me. My family overall, they don't give up on me. It's like I was a special one having her. So what happened? Why? My daughter keep motivating me. She keep on saying, "Mommy, keep pushing." Not sometimes she don't say it with words, but based on what she's doing or what she did. Why I said that? My daughter keep excelling in her schoolwork, and that makes me a proud mom. And I am not afraid to say that. Looking at my child who was born special, growing special, and of course, she's doing a lot of special things that marvel persons. Because persons may say, oh, is it that she become the top girl? Academically, I'm talking now. Or is it that she managed to be getting on a roll? And or is it that on Monday, she was the upper school top speller, and I'm telling you, when she was entering that competition, she said, "Mommy, I don't, because she don't like these things." But of course, I'm a teacher, Mommy. I'm gonna be right behind her. I'm gonna say, you may not be the first place winner, but you can go. Try, give it a try, because I'm a motivator. I'm gonna give her that push. And of course, today I can say I am very proud because she's doing good. She's doing good.
Reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place.
Stay where you are for sports. Up next.
In a world where innovation meets tradition, agriculture is evolving like never before. From the latest sustainable farming technologies to age